It's time now for the best high school sports action from the WBCB Sports Network. Catch the best games from Bucks and Mercer County at WBCBSports.com and our Facebook page. Your home for high school sports is right here at WBCB 1490.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Ewing High School, the home of the Blue Devils, as we get you ready for our second high school basketball game here from Ewing High School this afternoon as the boys host Freehold Borough. Again, it's a 1-16 matchup in the first round of the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 bracket. And today's game is brought to you by Capital Health System. Thanks to Haldeman Ford Subaru, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow. The New Jersey Education Association making portions of today's game possible thanks to the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office and Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Onofre. To Team Toyota, this is the Trentonian pregame show, getting you set for the start of today's game, and you can read all about it in tomorrow's Trentonian or online, trentonian.com. Thanks to the Italian People's Bakery and the all-new Hyundai of Trenton. Well, for Ewing, looking to bounce back again after a tough Mercer County tournament final, or excuse me, a semifinal loss to Notre Dame, but it came right down to the final moments of that game. They were hoping to get into the final, maybe have a crack at Trenton Central in that ball game. Instead, they fall short to the Irish. Mike, you were at that game and had a great finish to it. And, you know, kind of tough to bounce back against such a heartbreaking loss, but that is the task in front of this Blue Devil team today.
Absolutely, Chris, and I think one of my favorite sayings in sports is that you learn from losses, not from victories, and that's a game that a team like this, a Shelley Dearden-led Ewing Blue Devils team, will learn from. This Ewing team, again, you mentioned that emotional loss a game ago, and within that emotional loss, they lost one of their star players in Nair Preston down the stretch of that game, getting poked in the eye, and it seems like he will be sidelined still in warm-ups in this one. So not going to have Nair Preston, which is a big deal for Ewing.
Yeah, Preston, when he suffered that poke in the eye, he got a scratched cornea, and also they're looking at like a bruised retina.
Oh my
gosh. But they're, I think, hopeful that he can return. The winner here will move on into the second round of the tournament and play on Wednesday, I believe. It's possible that Nair might be able to join them then, but he is going to be out today, and that it's a major loss.
Absolutely it is. When you talk about the leadership of this team, a season ago, right on this floor, it was Ewing against Lawrence in the playoffs. Nair Preston pouring in 30 points in that playoff performance to get them to the next round of the tournament. This Ewing team is very capable of finding other ways to score. They have great offense from a kid named Darnell Forrest and Kenny Rankin, just to name a couple of them. But it's clear that another Blue Devil is going to have to step up to fill that scoring void that Nair Preston's going to leave with him being on the bench today.
You know, Gus, I talked with Coach Dearden about the success this program has had recently, and he said, you know, one of the things she seemed most proud of and wanted us to talk a little bit about was where this team was last year and where they are this season. Last year they got to a 14-9 overall mark. This season, 20 wins. That's a great milestone to reach in itself. The 1 seed here in the first round of this Central Jersey Group 3 tournament. And she said you got to credit the seniors and this bunch with all the work that they put in the off season. And, you know, she seemed proud of how much better they have done in this season than they had just last year.
Yeah, and if you want to be a successful team and be one of those top teams, you got to take those strides. And this team took that stride. Obviously, they had a successful season last year, but wanted to improve on that and really be one of the top guys. And coming into the season, they have been one of the top teams, if not the top team in New Jersey, really. They've been really dominant and just really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, and I think that makes that Mercer County tournament semifinal loss even a little bit more painful. Coach Dearden admitted that when they looked back at that game, Mike, they said it was a missed chance, a missed opportunity, but now here's a brand new opportunity in front of them.
Right, you almost feel like you're reborn if you're the Ewing Blue Devils. Fresh life, fresh season ahead of them here, and again, a home playoff game. Not many teams get to say, you know, the playoffs run through us. Ewing, both their boys and girls teams get to say that. So the Ewing faithful continuing to pile in here today. They make their presence felt during home games. I'm interested to see how this Freehold team matches up with Ewing, because you pointed out, Chris, not a lot of height on this Freehold roster just from looking at it. A 1'6'4" guy, a couple 6'2" guys. But Ewing, you know, they like to get up and down the floor, and they have guys that play above their size. So maybe that's the case for a team like Freehold. You know, we look at a guy like a Kenny Rankin for Ewing, and he doesn't really size out like one of the biggest guys in the league, yet he plays like he's one of the biggest guys in the league, and he can get it done in a number of ways. So we talked about guys that need to step up for Ewing tonight. If you talk to Coach Shelley Dearden, she tells you she calls on Kenny quite a lot, and Kenny Rankin has to be the leader for this team. It's taken to another level tonight without Nair Preston. How does Kenny Rankin find his shot? How does he create looks for others? The more important thing throughout this contest here tonight. So really, when I watch the Blue Devils tonight, I'm looking for who's filling that void for Nair Preston. Darnell Forrest going to be asked to carry the ball up the court a little bit more. Kenny Rankin going to be asked to handle the rock a little bit more. Do they exploit the size mismatch they potentially have with some of these lankier guys coming in off of the bench and try to force it inside, muscle their way in? Or do they play that typical Blue Devil brand of basketball, which is a full 94-foot game trying to turn defense into offense?
One thing for sure, it seems like Freehold is not inclined to go very deep on their bench. Before the game, I got a quick moment with Coach Tobias, and he said, you know, we may go like 5.5 deep. So it sounds like the starters are going to play the majority of the time, and there may be one, maybe two guys that would come off the bench to give these starters a bit of a breather. And we'll take a look at the starters for both teams in just a little bit, but this is a great day of high school hoops on WBCB, and we reflect on it just a little bit. A wonderful girls game before this one. Wonderful, at least from the perspective of the Ewing Blue Devils and the display that they put on. It was a dominant performance. They move on into the second round, winning 66-34. We've got Ewing and Freehold coming up in just a little bit. A nightcap coming your way, Somerville and Hamilton West at 5:30. And impressed with how top-heavy the Central Jersey Group 3 bracket is with these Mercer County teams. It's an indication of just how tough the Mercer County tournament is. The team that won is in Central Jersey Group 4, but the top 3 seeds in the Group 3 bracket are all local teams. You got Ewing, the 1 seed. The 2 seed is Nottingham. The 3 seed is Hamilton West. And Mike, you were mentioning that you saw another Mercer County team advance in Central Jersey. Robbinsville got a win.
Oh, yeah, Robbinsville over Allentown. They were down by as many as 11, I believe it was, with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Connor Hayes and his squad completely flipped the script on Allentown, came back and won by double digits in that ball game. They advanced to the next round of the Group 3 tournament as well. And yeah, that's a team to look out for. A Robbinsville team that has been without their best player for a large chunk of the season, and Luke Billings just coming back. He poured in 17 points in that one. And that's another team where you talk about a talented junior class. Robbinsville, they've got quite the talent in that junior class for them.
And then you look out of Central Jersey Group 3 in Group 4 action. The Tornadoes are the top seed coming out of Central Jersey Group 4, and we'll have their game against Sayreville tomorrow on the WBCB Sports Network. All right, we'll get our starting lineups.
Freehold Borough, Colonials, and your Ewing Blue Devils. And now, let's meet your starting lineups. First, for the Colonials, starting at guard, 6-foot senior, number 2, Mike Basea. Starting at forward, 6'2" junior, number 22, Sam Cranwell. Starting at guard, 5'6" junior, number 1, Will Hahn. Starting at forward, 6'4" sophomore, number 24, Brian Tassi. And at guard, 6'1" junior, number 4, Christian DeGazzo. Freehold Borough's head coach is Ben Debates, and assistant guy Lee Control and Matt Esposito. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for our Ewing Blue Devils. Starting at forward, 6'3" sophomore, number 24, Hannah James. Starting at forward, 6'4" sophomore, number 23, Joelle Tate.
the Blue Devils led by head coach Shelly Dearden. And again for Ewing today, Nair Preston, Darnell Forrest, Grady Griffin, and Joel Sinius, with top rebounder Cameron Jones. And for Freehold Borough, Will Hunn, Mike Bisea, Christian DeGuizo, Sam Cranwell, and Brian Tassi. Right now, we'll honor America with the playing of the national anthem as we step aside and return for the start of today's game on the WBCB Sports Network.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Hi, Merrill Reese for Capital Health, reminding you that the former St. Francis Medical Center is now Capital Health East, and they still offer a 24/7 emergency department as well as outpatient medical clinic services. To enter the emergency department and outpatient clinic, please use the Burt Avenue entrance. Capital Health, proud to be a partner for better health in our state's capital, Trenton, New Jersey. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time, where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
This is Angelo Weiner, your Mercer County prosecutor, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all of our Mercer County student athletes the best of luck, and also urge parents to stay involved in your children's school activities. Extracurricular events are a great way to keep your sons and daughters focused, and it does not have to be athletics. They can be involved with the drama.
All right, we are underway.
The school band, even the debate team.
As the Ewing Blue Devils host the Freehold Borough Colonials. Round 1 action of NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3. Chris Irmer with Gus Barber, Mike Warren. Great to have you with us today. Into Rankin in the corner. Sinius in the paint. Puts up the shot. A little bit off the mark. DeGuizo hands off to Bisea. DeGuizo with a runner in the lane, no. Looked like he had his own miss, instead picked up off the floor by Cameron James. Out on the wing now, there's Grady Griffin. Griffin getting the start today instead of Preston. And on the other end, DeGuizo banks it in. And Colonials on the scoreboard first.
Taking it right into the teeth of this Ewing defense. Not scared of the Colonials to start. They understand that they have the size mismatch, but they can't be timid and have to get inside if they want to get some points today.
Sinius through the paint, no, but followed up by Cameron James, and he ties us at 2.
Right away, you see Ewing get right into their 2-2-1 full court press.
Colonials break that pressure and set up the offense. Drop off for Tassi just in front of us. His shot is no good, and Shelly Dearden asking the Blue Devils to push it. They get it up the field to Rankin. Rankin baseline drive, no. And Colonials pick up the loose ball. Up the floor quickly to DeGizzo, and it dribbled it off his knee, out of bounds. Goes to Ewing.
One thing that's always a staple of Shelley Dearden's teams defensively, Chris, it's that they get hands on the basketball. Passing lanes, whether you're dribbling it, trying to look for somebody in the high post, they make passing lanes clogged up quick.
Kenny Rankin takes it inside, goes up with the shot, yes, and gets the whistle. Makes it 4-2. Rankin had 31 in their opening round of that Mercer County tournament. He really can fill it up.
Yeah, he can, and he can do it in a number of ways, too. He can spot up, shoot, he can put on the floor, he can post you up. I mean, he is just about as well-rounded as they come. And somebody that's really taken strides year to year. He's progressed and really transformed his body. You look at him from a freshman to now, he's really grown into his figure.
Nice ball movement by the Colonials, but the block is there. James rejects it. And then Rankin, as across the paint, Darnell Forrest finds his teammate. Rankin makes it 7-2, and it's a quick timeout taken by the Colonials.
Yeah, and right away, Ewing's not doing anything special. You know, they're just running their sets, getting the best look on the floor just about every time down. That's kind of been their key to success to this point. Kenny Rankin's just filling open spaces on the floor. He's not forcing anything. And again, you could feel that way. You could feel like if you are Kenny Rankin in this spot that you have to force things. Again, no Nair Preston. That's somebody that accounts for double-digit scoring a night, someone who can really space the floor with his outside shooting. If you're a Kenny Rankin, you might feel a little bit more inclined to force things, but to start, just letting the game come to him and executing at a high level, you can't ask for much more if you're Coach Shelley Dearden.
Yeah, we referenced the Ewing girls with, again, nice movement and unable to hold the pivot, though. DeGizzo turns it over. Reference the girls team with kind of a four-headed monster, and the Ewing boys have 3 top scorers. Unfortunately, one not available, Nair Preston, because of that injury to his eye. But besides Preston, who had more than 300 points scored, same thing for Kenny Rankin and same thing for Darnell Forrest as they get it inside to Sinius. Sinius across the paint to Grady Griffin. Athletic shot there, and it's good. And then a steal as Rankin takes it away, and he's fouled.
Yeah, right now the Colonials really just playing into Ewing's hand in terms of full court play, speeding them up. I mean, we haven't seen Freehold a lot, so we don't really know their style of play, but can't imagine it's playing this fast and this rapid and not taking care of the basketball. That's the thing. This Ewing defense will force you into some forced passes, some forced turnovers.
Inside to Joel Sinius, and Sinius with a physical shot inside makes it 11-10, and then another turnover, kicked ball, and we'll stay down here.
I've talked about this a couple of times during Ewing broadcasts, but I'm really impressed with the strides and just the overall growth that Darnell Forrest has made as he finds the vision again, and another timeout by Freehold need to be taken here. Darnell Forrest has completely transformed his body from last year to this year. He looks like a man amongst boys. Last year looked like a teenager. This year he looks like an adult.
I think that's one of the points that Coach Dearden was talking about, saying how much this team has developed from last year to this year, and you see that physical development is a big part of it. And right there he was able to find his teammate Cam James.
Yeah, a lot of the time when you talk about development, a lot of the things that people think right away, it's skills. How did he develop his skills? Well, transforming your body is one thing that a lot of these college coaches look for. Sure, every kid nowadays wants to shoot like Steph Curry and have handles like him too, but if you're able to have that college body, that borderline NBA type body, college coaches want to invest in that. They're going to want to offer you a scholarship, and somebody like Darnell Forrest, who's proven that he's capable of transforming his body and taking the strides on the court, he's, in my eyes, definitely a college basketball player.
Darnell Forrest also consistently finding his teammates this season. He is close to the 90 assist mark, and there's a foul as the Colonials bring it up the floor. Push on Sinius is detected, his first. And again, Tristan DeGuizo tried that pass, but it's taken away by Forrest. Forrest, little up and under move, no. Griffin is there to finish the job. He can't, tries again, and eventually gets the whistle.
One thought really stands out right now when I'm watching this Ewing team, and it's just trust. It's trusting that the guys around you are going to fill the spaces on the floor, make up for missed opportunities. I mean, it's really we mentioned Nair Preston not being available today, but the next man up mentality has started with these guys on the floor in terms of, if I have my look, I'm going to take it. If there's another opportunity to be had, I'm going to try to do everything in my power to get it back for my team. And you're seeing that from Ewing so far, hence the double-digit advantage to start.
DeGuizo along the baseline, kick out, 3 from the wing. He got it. Nice shot by Will Hunn. Brings the Colonials back to within 10. There's Forrest a little out of control on that drive. Thought there might be some contact. Whistles stay silent as DeGuizo puts on the brakes. Kicks out again to Hahn. He thought about the 3. Instead, DeGuizo will pull the trigger. Ball goes high in the air and rebounded there by Will Hunn. He threw it off of one of the Blue Devils, and a nice job as it stays with the Colonials. Good effort there by the 5'8" junior who gets the inbound and gives it up to Guizot, back to Hunn, who calls out a play. Tassi for 3. No, and Rankin rips down the rebound, and then the ball came loose, but it's because Kenny Rankin was fouled by Will Hunn. So Blue Devils will inbound, 3rd team foul on the Colonials. As checking in for them, Mike Bisea back on the floor.
So you mentioned that Freehold, you know, that 5.5-man rotation to start there, already going back with the starting 5. Who will Shelly Dearden turn to with her first person off the bench today?
Griffin, nice find. Joel Sinius, though, can't finish the play. And DeGuizo quickly over midcourt. He's harassed by Forrest, and then Forrest with a reach-in foul, and Coach Dearden can't believe it.
Yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. That's just not the right call. You can't really teach it as well as Darnell Forrest just did it right there in terms of not reaching across your body to poke the ball free and then trying to get it back. But that time maybe a makeup call.
The inbound is to the Blue Devils. That's the wrong team, and Griffin fouled on his drive to the bucket. Was able to talk a little bit to Coach Dearden before the game, and I saw that Cameron Clark, who was a former Ewing Blue Devil player, reached the 1,000-point mark for Cairn University, which I thought was kind of cool. And I was talking with Coach Dearden about that, and somehow we got things mixed up, and she thought I was talking about Billy Clark, who is connected to Cameron James, and at one time was one of the coaches for Trenton Central. Anyway, she said Cameron Clark, who went to Cairn for soccer, has had a great career there as the Blue Devils apply the pressure and they trap in the corner Tassi, and eventually he's going to throw it off one of the Ewing players just to hold on to possession. But mentioned that Cam Clark sometimes will come back and talk with the players like around Christmas time and talk about his experience at the next level, the college level. And we congratulate him on his 1,000-point milestone at Cairn University as Darnell Forrest up the floor, stops, pops the jumper, and it's Tassi with the rebound. Yeah, Freehold Borough, the Colonials had to travel about an hour to get here on this Monday, as that 3 is good. Nice job by Sam Cranwell. Stepped into it and make it 16-8.
If there's one thing we learned from watching Freehold during warm-ups is that just about everybody on this team can shoot. Spot-up shooting is something this team practices quite a lot. And you're seeing at the start, a lot of that offense generated at this point from beyond the arc.
And there's Forrest with an answer.
When he can space the floor like that, when he's hitting threes from a step, 2 steps beyond the arc, that's trouble.
Nice pass inside, a drive to the bucket. will result in a Cranwell trip to the free throw line. As we're down to 1:54 to go. Our officials today, Bobby Davison, Craig Owens, and Dave Brucalari in this first round of Central Jersey Group 3 play. As the gym quiets for Cranwell and misses his first of 2.
Yeah, Mr. Owens was on a couple of games at the Mercer County tournament. Good to see him there as well. And a lot of these officials, they did a lot of the Mercer County games this year.
1 of 2 to make it a 10-point game, 19-9. Our scorers, the Ewing Blue Devils, hoping to advance just as their girls team did over Middletown North, winning 66-34 in our first of our high school basketball doubleheader from Ewing High School.
This is a big possession right here, Chris. Freehold gets a stop here, you could see a momentum shift. Down by 10, a chance to cut it to single digits with a stop.
Rankin with a crossover and a drive, scores with the left hand.
Yeah, Kenny Rankin was having none of that. Shut me up real quick.
Impressive bucket and then a steal, another drive to the hole, and this time it's Forrest who gets fouled and a trip to the line. Yeah, talk about defense leading to offense. I look down at my score sheet and look back up again, and it's another drive to the bucket for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, I think Darnell Forrest has about 4 or 5 steals already in this first quarter. He's got at least 3 of them. And again, this is somebody that just as well-rounded as they come. Sure, you think of the outside shooting when you look at Darnell Forrest on paper and what he's done throughout his career, a great three-point shooter for the Blue Devils. But he's really become a true guard. And the things that he's able to do for Ewing, not just with the ball in his hands, but defensively, you're seeing it again, another deflected pass. You just really value a player like a Darnell Forrest on your team.
Colonials with some difficulty bringing it up the floor, but now they'll set things up. DeGuizo, baseline jump shot, no. And the rebound secured by James. And then Rankin again.
No one wants to get in front of that coming down the lane. That much size, that much speed. I mean, it's a business decision to not get in front of Kenny Rankin coming down the lane with that much speed.
And now Colonials are trapped. And a push.
I think they called it a jump ball. They called it a jump. It's going to stay with Freehold.
Checking in for Ewing now is Darian Doggett. Just under a half minute remaining. The ball goes into Mike Bisea. Up top, there's Tassi, but the foul away from the ball will go against Freehold Borough.
Off the ball fouls drive a coach crazy. Obviously, Freehold trying to get into one of their sets there, but just not set before they made the screen.
And now the officials. Wait a second here. Now I think they're calling that on Ewing. Looked like it was a Freehold call. Everybody walked the floor, and then the official goes to the scorer's table and says that is on Cameron James.
Shelly Dearden said everybody in America thought that was on blue, everybody but you.
Checking in now is Nasir Adams for the Blue Devils.
I love Coach Teref banter. It might be my favorite thing about the sport.
Kenny Rankin with a steal. Drops that one home. A big end to this first quarter, an impressive closeout for the Blue Devils as they extend this now 27-9. 3 from Bisea. No, Tassi shakes it loose, and we reach the end of the first quarter. Ewing 27, Freehold Borough 9. And we'll step aside and return for more high school basketball. That's coming up in just a moment on WBCB.
This is Angelo Onifrey, your Mercer County prosecutor, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all of our Mercer County student athletes the best of luck, and also urge parents to stay involved in your children's school activities. Extracurricular events are a great way to keep your sons and daughters focused, and it does not have to be athletics. They can be involved with the drama club, the school band, even the debate team. An involved student today has a brighter future tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, and I hope you enjoyed today's game.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org.
Impressive first quarter for the Ewing Blue Devils boys basketball team. They're on top 27-9 over Freehold Borough. The winner here will move on to play either Hopewell Valley or Ocean Township. Hopewell Valley, the 9 seed, against Ocean Township, the 8 seed here in Central Jersey Group 3 bracket. And today's game on BCB brought to you by the all-new Hyundai of Trenton. Cars priced from $2,000 to $200,000 and everything in between. Great pre-owned cars from BMW, Audi, Cadillac, Ford, and many more makes and models. Check them out. The inventory ready for immediate delivery. Hyundai of Trenton, the area's newest auto dealer with cars in stock at 1655 North Olden Avenue in Ewing Township. Second quarter underway. Blue Devils with the basketball. They send it inside to James, and he gets fouled, but is still strong enough to make that shot.
We talked about it a little bit during the pregame, the size advantage that Ewing has on the inside, but it's really just a strength advantage at this point. You know, they're not really doing anything to take advantage of the size inside. They're not throwing any over-the-top passes, no backdoor looks. They're just simply stronger right now inside than the Colonials are, and it's paid off.
And they're almost a steal from James. Colonials keep it alive. The runner off glass, Cam Crooms, gets his first bucket of the afternoon, makes it 30-11. Rankin for 3. Kenny Rankin, he's got 14.
Yeah, pouring it in. Chris, I wanted to mention it to you, too. There's now 11 fouls, but the first quarter didn't feel like a quarter that had 10 foul calls in it. Ewing with 6 and Colonials with 4 after 1.
Nice find there as Bisea makes the bucket, makes it 33-13.
It seems like a quick first quarter.
Already a minute gone in the second quarter. This time the clock stops as it's poked away. The 6'1 senior Cam Crooms. He's done a good job giving the Colonials a little bit more energy off the bench, but when they get it inside, it's a mismatch. And there you see it as James gets back to the line again, and you mentioned the strength. One of the things that comes to mind for me is like springs. I mean, these guys have springs in their shoes where they are just getting their second and third jumps.
Yeah, the double jumps, the second and third attempts, getting the ball. And one thing worth noting, too, is that this is a Ewing team that has played – they just came off of a game playing against a 6'8" big guy in Steisha Mathelier for Notre Dame. And, you know, that sticks in your mind a little bit. When you play a big guy, you have that mindset on how to approach every post presence after that, and it is, I'm going to go at this guy like he has size on me, and you're seeing that so far with James. I mean, he's just relentless so far, going at the rim, finishing through contact. Nothing's going to get in between him and getting his look on the low block.
Yeah, he's got 9 points now. They get it out to Bisea in the corner. Nice job as Tassi makes a cut to the bucket. Great bounce pass from Bisea to Tassi. Makes it 35-15. At the other end, Kenny Rankin with the runner. No, but James is there. Can't hit the putback. Has a second crack at it. Then the ball is loose. They try to throw it off the Blue Devils, but they pick it up, and Rankin drops it in.
I think Kenny Rankin's a little hungry for an Italian People's Bakery hoagie, because he's trying to make reservations for Player of the Game honors.
Nice job there. A scoop shot from Sam Cranwell. Forrest on the wing. He got a 3.
Why not, right? Might as well.
Couple minutes gone by, nearly misplayed at midcourt. But Cranwell sets Bisea up for a healthy three. That's no good. Hun underneath, up and under move, and he scores.
Smallest guy on the floor finishing amongst the trees there. Coaches are happy with that. Get a second chance opportunity and a strong finish, why don't you? Will Hung.
Now Forrest again, this time a three from the other side of the floor. That's good too.
He's just feeling it. I mean, anytime you go from one spot of the floor to the other, you're able to knock it down the same way. You're feeling it well out of your hand. You're seeing the rim well.
Inside to Giza. Nice job to feel that defender coming over the top and hang in there to make that bucket. Reverse layup from Kenny Rankin at the other end.
How do you stop this Blue Devils team?
And a timeout. The Colonials are going to talk about that very thing as they will take a timeout. 5:03 to go in the second quarter. It's a full timeout, and we'll let you know that today's game is brought to you by the Italian People's Bakery. Proud to support high school sports on the WBCB Sports Network. Their signature location, 63 Butler Street, for the finest rolls, deli meats, and pastries. Smell the homemade bread made daily, or have them cater your next party or affair. The Italian People's Bakery, 63 Butler Street, the place to go for the best hoagies on Sundays and the finest dessert trays for your next special get-together. Again, 63 Butler Street in Chambersburg, also on the corner of Woodburn and Oxford Valley Road in Levittown, PA. On West Trenton Avenue in Morrisville, Pennsylvania, the Italian People's Bakery. Since 1936, don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's Trentonian. For complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian, and of course you can check them out online, Trentonian.com. Kenny Rankin, outstanding first half, already with 18 points, helping the Blue Devils to this 45-21 advantage. Colonials out of the timeout, get it to the high post to Tassi. He tries to pass out, and it's taken away by Forrest, and then Forrest lays that one off the window and in. That gives Darnell Forrest double digits. He's got 11 points. Trying to get it inside, and it's tipped away. Picked up by Ayanadaba. And then Griffin gets up close, couldn't finish, but he follows it up with an offensive rebound and a putback.
Defense to offense, finishing through contact, second chance opportunities, three-point shooting. There's really not much that this Ewing team has done wrong tonight, Chris. And that's a large reason why you see a 28-point advantage on the scoreboard. They're executing at a high level. It's clear that that last game against Notre Dame has just done nothing but fueled them for what should be another great run for Ewing, making an attempt for the Central Jersey Group 3 title. And I get it's only the first round, but when you're playing a brand of basketball like this, without one of your leading scorers, it's scary.
Griffin makes it 50-21. Kick out, DeGizzo. Shot on the way, no. Quickly up the floor to Griffin, and one. Back in transition was Bisea.
Jeez, they've got 52 points with 4 minutes to go here in the first half. I mean, the efficiency, I would love to see the shooting numbers for Ewing. They're probably shooting close to 70%.
That free throw rims out, and up the floor comes Christian DeGizzo. Tassi thinking about letting it go, gallops through the lane, gives it up to Hun. Hun with a kick out, but They got him on the arm before he threw that pass, so a reach in on Ewing. Just a little more than midway through the third quarter. Midway through the second quarter, pardon me. Jumping ahead.
Yeah, it feels like the third quarter. Usually when there's 52 points on the board for one team, you're in the third. Again, like this Ewing team is just, they can do no wrong tonight, Chris. They really can't. Another deflected pass by Forrest.
Active hands at the defensive end, forcing the Colonials to try to set this thing up again. It's been a struggle for them to really get quality looks. And there's a pass that, again, stolen away. Kenny Rankin will rise and score.
At this rate, Rankin might not play in the second half.
He's got 20 of the Blue Devils' 54. Hun, drive out, kick out. Bisea got it.
That's a big-time answer for them. They needed that.
The 5'10 senior Mike Bisea knocks it down. And a sizable lead for the Blue Devils, but they still have their foot on the gas as Crooms, he's got a steal for the Colonials, and then he throws it off of Forrest out of bounds. The other thing I got to talk with Coach Dearden about, we mentioned some of the community activity that the girls basketball team did, and there's Will Hun for three. And Coach Dearden saying that, a lot of those traditions started with the boys basketball team as Kenny Rankin runs the floor, gets fouled. And no, they're going to call an offensive foul there on Rankin. I didn't see that, but officials give it to Rankin. It's his first. But yeah, Coach Dearden was talking about the community involvement that Ewing basketball engages in, and mentioned a bunch of events and fundraisers that they get involved with. DeGizzo nearly got it taken away there. Tassie now holds it out on the wing. Tassie faking the pass, driving, couldn't quite get that one to go, and then the ball thrown out of bounds, looking for Griffin, but too far for him to get to. Yeah, but the ways that they give back to the community just helps to strengthen the program. And she mentioned that they do like the tree lighting and some trunk or treat kind of events, and mentioned that one of the things that they've been involved in for a long time is an autism walk. DeGizzo kick out to Hun. Hun gives it back to him. Three on the way, no, and Forrest with the rebound. And during the girls' basketball game, we kind of talked about how the community things help to bring the basketball culture to a higher level.
Right.
And certainly, she also said that they do Joey's Little Angels, which I think part of the CVC is part of the like a Toys for Tots drive.
Yeah, that's a great foundation, a great cause. And you're right, a lot of these Mercer County teams get involved in the CVC schools. You see a lot of these schools with the Joey's Little Angel warm-up shirts throughout the season and the shooting shirts. And it really is. It's just it's a great cause, a great way that, all of these teams in the CVC can come together and put the inner city sort of rivalries aside and the inter-county rivalries aside, and just know that one common goal, one common team here, and let's raise money and gifts for the less fortunate and for those who really deserve it.
Inside out to Rankin. Rankin over to Forrest, and Darnell Forrest from distance.
Well, maybe we'll call the Italian People's Bakery and tell them that they got to split this award between Darnell Forrest and Kenny Rankin, because it's a back and forth battle between the two.
Turnover up the floor. Forrest drops it off. Not that time. Follow-up is good from Darian Doggett. The other thing we referenced during the girls' game is some of the family connections, and that Doggett name is one that familiar to Blue Devil basketball fans.
Yes, very familiar. I believe his older brother was a point guard for Ewing a couple years ago. He called his games.
DeGizzo pulls up with the jumper and hits it. as we get down to the final 15 seconds.
And Ewing can have the last shot here if they want it. You're going to see Darnell Forrest come up left side. So they're going to go overload to the right side of the floor here. Let's see what they go with. Oh, nice
Forrest
defense.
Trapped. DeGuizo takes it away and lays it in. And we reach the end of the first half. It's Ewing 59, Freehold Borough 28. All right, halftime, and we'll step aside in just a little bit, return with first half scoring and some other stats for you. Get you ready for second half action on the WBCB Sports Network. The other thing we want to maybe try to check up on, Mike, is James looked like he was getting his ankle taped. Now,
Right, yeah, a good amount of that second quarter there was spent with James on the bench, Cam James there getting attended to, looking at his ankle, and I do see that he had it taped up, some pre-wrap, and then another tape layer on top of that. Put the shoe back on, walked in the locker room with the guys, so we could definitely see him return in the second half. However, with a 30-point margin on the scoreboard going into the halftime locker room, if you're Shelley Dearden, it's decision time. Keep the foot on the gas, but also you don't want to risk injury for some of your starters. Already down without Nair Preston, you don't want to lose anybody else.
We'll see if we can update that situation as it's halftime between the Ewing Blue Devils and the Freehold Borough Colonials. We'll return with halftime activities in just a moment on WBCB.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Hi, Merrill Reese for Capital Health, reminding you that the former St. Francis Medical Center is now Capital Health East, and they still offer a 24/7 emergency department as well as outpatient medical clinic services. To enter the emergency department and outpatient clinic, please use the Burt Avenue entrance. Capital Health, proud to be a partner for better health in our state's capital, Trenton, New Jersey. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 20 minutes from Langhorne, Princeton, Ewing on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
This is Angelo Onifree, your Mercer County prosecutor, and I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all of our Mercer County student athletes the best of luck, and also urge parents to stay involved in your children's school activities. Extracurricular events are a great way to keep your sons and daughters focused, and it does not have to be athletics. They can be involved with the drama club, the school band, even the debate team. An involved student today has a brighter future tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, and I hope you enjoyed today's game.
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. This is Merrill Reese reminding you that Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township is more than just a great place to purchase a new Ford Subaru or pre-owned car or truck. Their collision and service centers services all makes and models and specializes in fleet service. Haldeman's Collision Center is renowned for their work. It's a state-of-the-art facility, all insurance accepted, free estimates and loaner cars available, and one of the friendliest staffs around. From small dents to major repairs on any make or model, it's Haldeman Ford Subaru Collision Center, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They're good!
New Jersey is home to the best public schools in the nation. And that didn't happen by accident. It's the result of parents, educators, and communities working together year after year to give our students a world-class education, no matter the challenge. Because parents and educators know that with a shared commitment to our public schools, our children can learn, grow, and thrive. And together, we can keep New Jersey's public schools the best in the nation.
The Gator, Jerry Blavitt, inviting you to come on by and experience true traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant at 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You're always welcome at the restaurant. I mean, it's like stepping back in time. You feel like you're dining in South Philadelphia or in New York's Little Italy restaurant. You can start the meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. You choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood, steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The restaurant is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private rooms are available for special affairs, plus we do catering. Remember, the Revere Restaurant, 609-882-6365. Again, that's 609-882-6365. Come on home and experience the true taste of Italy at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Just to update, one of the situations we had our eye on during halftime was how is Cam James and his ankle. He looks fine out there. He was probably just getting it retaped, and so he was out for a bit of the second quarter, and I imagine he'll be back out there on the floor to start the second half. But Mike, you mentioned a dominant first half for Ewing, and already up 59-28 in this game.
Yeah.
So it does force Coach Dearden to do some decision making on maybe which guys to utilize and if she wants to protect any players from potential injury.
Absolutely, and I think that the big thing when you look at the halftime score, obviously it's 59 points for Ewing, right? But how do they get those 59 points? We talked a lot during the Trentonian pregame show about how someone would have to step up without Nair Preston being out on the floor, and 2 guys have stepped up, to say the least. Kenny Rankin and Darnell Forrest both combining for 36 of the 59 points in that first half. Rankin with 20 and Forrest with 16. So, I mean, these guys have really stepped up and in a big way. But as you mentioned, what does Shelly Dearden do here? In my mind, you treat the third quarter like you treated the first quarter. Keep the foot down. Do what you can to keep this lead or even grow it. And then when the fourth quarter comes, that's when you start concerning yourself with, okay, how do we dip into the bench, get the reserve some time here, and avoid any further injury already in this one?
You know, the other thing, it seems like they rectified. Talking with Coach Dearden before the game, she mentioned the fact that in that Mercer County tournament semifinal, felt like they missed an opportunity and that they played in that game without a great sense of urgency. And certainly in the first half of this opening round of Central Jersey Group 3 play, they played with that sense of urgency, that playing up to, you know, the significance of the game and recognizing they got to get past, you know, again, they also have those lofty goals, which we referenced during the girls' game, but you got to take it one game at a time, one half at a time, one quarter at a time, you know, apply all those cliches, and there's quite a bit of truth in there.
Yeah, and just at the halftime break, I was going to the bathroom, and I heard some of the Colonial fans in the bathroom. Yeah, that's their mindset right now. Is just one possession at a time, one you know, outlook at a time, one possession, one game, one quarter, one touch at a time, and let's just try to chip into this lead down 31. And even a couple fans saying we need some 5-point shots to start falling our ways, even though everybody knows that those don't exist. But got to bring out a 5-point shot, maybe help these guys out a little bit, dip into the lead.
First half scoring for Freehold Borough, 8 points coming from Bisea, 8 points coming from DeGizo, 5 points apiece for Will Hunn and Sam Cranwell, and 2 points coming from Cam Crooms off the bench. And they turn it over on their first possession, goes out of bounds and back to Ewing. Ewing getting their points in the first half from Kenny Rankin and Darnell Forrest in a big way. Rankin with 20, Darnell Forrest with 16, and then Grady Griffin also in double digits with 10 points. 9 coming from Cam James. Sinius with 2 and Doggett with 2 as well.
Add 3 more to Darnell Forrest's sheet, Chris, because he just buried a huge triple there. He's got 19 now, and Ewing just picking up right where they left off.
Bisea with a nice shot from up top. That's a deep 2. Now Darnell Forrest gets everybody set up. Rankin in the corner, dropping it off to Sinius. Sinius, looked like there was a little contact. Whistles stay silent. Officials letting them play on, and a push goes against the Blue Devils. Coach Dearden looking for an explanation. Foul called on James. It's his second. Coach Dearden looking for an explanation, but there wasn't much from the officials there. And Griffin with a steal up the floor to Forrest. He's got 21 now as he easily lays that in, makes it 64-30.
All right, guys, who's hungrier, Forrest or Rankin? That's what's going to come down to who gets the sandwich. Who's hungrier?
After the game, we'll have our Italian People's Bakery player of the game. Bisea that time, his shot just a little off the mark, rebounded by Griffin. And whoever gets that honor gets a certificate for a hoagie from the Italian People's Bakery. Sinius inside, working in heavy traffic, tries to save it from going out of bounds. It's poked loose then by Griffin. Griffin along the baseline, no, but fouled by Tassi. And we'll step to the free throw line. Grady Griffin also kind of hungry as he's now looking to exceed 10 points now.
Yeah, he's
double digits
that,
already.
He's somebody that I don't think we've talked to at all this season in terms of giving the Italian People's Bakery player of the game honors. But again, Griffin asked to do a lot more, right? We've talked about it a number of times. No Nair Preston, other guys forced to step up and carry a larger load. Grady Griffin with the start today and unfazed by it, really. I mean, almost like he's been waiting for this moment for quite some time to sort of prove that he's a starter type player in this system.
And that next man up mentality, referenced it before, and really a great game for Grady Griffin. I don't know, he might be my front runner right now for our player of the game, as Forrest is going to add 2 more with that layup.
Defense to offense, Chris. Sign of any good team at any level.
And you know, you certainly look at typically your top player from the game is the one who has the most points or the most impressive stat line, but we like to spread it around a little bit, and certainly Kenny Rankin and Forrest, I think they've gotten some sandwiches this season already. I'm not sure if Grady Griffin has joined us. Nice inbound there to DeGuizo. DeGuizo, little hook shot, no. They try to follow it up, and who's there for the rebound? Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin's really putting together a nice afternoon as well. And again, he's not jumping off the stat sheet in terms of points necessarily. I mean, he's in double digits, but two other guys in front of him leading the team so far that are, again, stars of this team. But Grady Griffin, absolutely, Chris, going to have to throw his name into the ring for consideration as well, just because, again, a guy being asked to absorb a bigger role and doing it as well as he had to this point, it's worth noting, it's worth mentioning, and definitely worth highlighting.
You know, it can become a point of controversy after the games. Every once in a while, we'll have a player or a fan come over and say, hey, why did you name this guy the player of the game?
My favorite.
There's Hun with a bucket. Nice job by Will Hun inside. As you said, the smallest guy on the floor, doing some work inside a few times tonight.
Coaches love that. I mean, you're not afraid to get dirty, get gritty inside, find a way to finish.
Griffin that time turned it over, he got up in the air, didn't know what he wanted to do with it seemed like, and at the other end, Tassi with the lay-in. Little confrontation right at the backboard.
Yeah, yes, a loud smack of the backboard, just didn't get the ball. You know, something that I've seen called in games before, and that does affect the shot, is if a guy smacks the backboard too hard and the layup gets missed, they will call goaltending.
Great find, Forrest to Griffin. And Griffin with two more to extend this Blue Devil lead. Again, second round winner here, taking on Hopewell Valley or Ocean Township. Ooh, Cranwell connects. And then at the other end, Blue Devils a little too aggressive, and it ends up going out of bounds. It will stay with Ewing. On the floor for the Colonials is Demir Lester. Midway through the third. Into Griffin, and certainly feel that chemistry between Griffin and Darnell Forrest.
Yeah, I mean, Forrest has found Griffin a handful of times tonight. High-low opportunities, two-man sets, you name it. They've really fed off of one another tremendously to this point.
And there have been a few times where Griffin has gotten a rebound and fed Forrest there. Griffin forcing the shot up, goes off the bottom of the backboard. Lester passing up top, nearly threw it away. Then DeGuizo gets it back to him, no, but Tassi with the follow-up. The 6'2" sophomore with the bucket. And the Colonials continue to fight. This season, Colonials went 8-15, just 1-9 in Short A conference as Griffin drives, offensive foul. Taking the charge is Hun.
That's one of those foul calls that gets called at the high school level, but does not get called at the college level simply because of the semicircle underneath the basket. Hung that time in good position, in legal guarding position, but where he was located was definitely within that semicircle region. And that's something as well, where they talk about the shot clock being added to the high school game. I think that semicircle underneath the basket would really add a new element and really teach kids how to defend the right way in front of the rim.
Here's DeGuizo for three. He got it.
That was a pretty shot.
He's got 11 to lead Freehold Borough. But it's been a dominant afternoon for the Blue Devils. Looking inside, trying to get it in there to Ayandaba. Instead, hesitation drive. DeGuizo off the window, no. Tassi fouled as they fight for the rebound. 2:29 to go, third quarter. 3 team fouls on the Blue Devils, just 1 in the second half on the Colonials. There's Lester, who'll pull up, jump shot. Pulled down by James with another board. Up the floor to Sinius, Euro step. Popped that shot right at the end, didn't make it, and then Forrest deflects the pass. It goes out of bounds, it'll stay with the Colonials. Griffin checks back in. And Joel Sinius will sit down for a little bit. Cineas and James kind of neck and neck when you look at the leaders in team rebounding for the Blue Devils. They both have done a good job helping to clean the glass. Here's Tassie from downtown. No, ball bounced around, and Tassie comes flying in there and fouls somebody. I'm not sure who he got. I think Forrest. And Forrest walks it over midcourt. Rankin drops it off.
Man, vision on display that time. He draws 2 defenders baseline and knew what he wanted to do every single time.
Ayindanaba says thank you very much for that great pass from Kenny Rankin. 3 up top, no. Lester with the offensive board keeps it alive for the Colonials. Inside spin move and a whistle, a foul as he goes up for the shot. Ayindanaba guilty of the foul. Looked like Ayindanaba had pretty good verticality, but officials send DeGizzo to the stripe. And it's been just that kind of afternoon for the Colonials. Talking with Coach DeBias before the game, said, what do you guys need to do to keep this one close? He said, we got to make shots. And your shots don't always fall for you, but
I mean, just look at the quality of shots one team has gotten versus the other. And again, it's nothing against the Colonials and what they've done to this point. Freehold's run their sets. It's just that Ewing has taken the ball away from them.
Forrest from the wing, no, and then the ball off of Lester out of bounds, so we'll stay down here.
I mean, you're looking at one team in Ewing who's shooting probably around the 70% mark. Now it's probably quieted down a little bit closer to 60%. But in the first half, shooting about 70%, getting all of their looks inside the paint, and a handful of wide open ones from beyond the arc for your best three-point shooter in Darnell Forrest.
That time, inside to Rankin, he had great position. And
right, another good look there that arguably, could have been a foul, could have been a missed shot, whatever you want to call it. But again, a high percentage look. It's been the recipe for Ewing, and no reason to go away from it.
Yeah, certainly seemed like that could have drawn a whistle. Instead, inbound to Griffin as it went out of bounds, stays with the Blue Devils, and now Forrest looks around under a minute to go. Trying to get it into James, deflected, but Forrest holds on to it. Griffin thought about the 3. Rankin will pull the trigger. His shot, no. Tipped loose by Ayindanaba. Up the floor to Hun. Hun can't finish as he tried to go across to the other side of the hoop. Now the Blue Devils slow it down. And, they certainly don't slow it down too much. A very aggressive up-tempo pace and style for the Blue Devils, but it looks like they're going to hold for a final shot in the third quarter. Into Rankin. Rankin bouncing around defenders. He's fouled, and we'll take a trip to the line.
Yeah, that
Foul
time
on Lester.
Coach Dearden calling out a play called Jersey. Little two-man action between Forrest and Rankin. A fade to the right side for Rankin there as he just rolls off of it, waits for the fade pass down low from Forrest, and clearly, again, that's something they work on a number of times. It's a play that they've practiced a bunch, but overload the left side of the floor that way to draw those 2 screens up so that Rankin can get free, become a screener himself, and then the play is for him. It's a clean look. I mean, I've been very impressed with obviously Rankin and Forrest tonight, but just from watching these guys from a season ago to now, Forrest is so much more of a guard than he was a season ago. And what I mean by that is the selectiveness and the decisiveness in terms of when to shoot and when to pass to his teammates. It's taken another level in terms of the development this year. And he's really a true guard now. He's not just a shooter. He's not just a scorer. He's a true guard.
Final seconds of the third quarter. That's good if it goes, but off the mark, and we reach the end of the third quarter. Ewing on top 72-43. High school basketball on the WBCB Sports Network. Again, thanks to the Trentonian, to the Italian People's Bakery, and the all-new Hyundai of Trenton. We're going to step aside and return fourth quarter action coming up in just a moment.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
Don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read about this game in tomorrow's Trentonian. Outstanding local and national sports coverage that you can count on 7 days a week. It's all in the pages of the Trentonian, or check them out online, trentonian.com. And thanks also to the all-new Hyundai of Trenton. They have the inventory ready for immediate delivery with all of the Hyundais and some pre-owned cars and trucks as well. The newest auto dealer with cars in stock at 1655 North Olden Avenue in Ewing Township. Back underway, Rankin gets it back from Griffin as the fourth quarter begins. Inside to Sinius. Sinius double teamed, gets the shot off and rattles it home.
How many times have you said that tonight, Chris? You know, forcing a shot up over double team or finishing through a double team, 2 defenders on a low post offensive guy for Ewing. They finished through contact at an absurdly high rate tonight. Most high school teams don't. And again, you got to think that it's because of the caliber of big man that these forwards have had to face throughout the year, throughout the CVC in Mercer County, that causes them to have to play with a little extra edge and a little extra chip on their shoulder. Both Simius and James today have done a tremendous job just, again, finishing over contact and going at somebody, even if they're bigger than them. They don't care.
At the other end of the floor, Hun with a bucket. There's a floater from Rankin that is picked up by Hun. Quickly up the floor, out to Bisea. Bisea's 3, no. Forrest to the floor. He picks up the ball, gets it to Sinius. And the Blue Devils, I think, would be well served to slow things down just a little bit here. Although that's just not their style. If they see an opportunity, they're going for it.
Right, yeah, and that's something here to Coach Dearden's definitely approaching the fourth quarter. First couple minutes here, let's get as much effective sets off as we can. Let's be efficient. And
yep, still got the starters out there as Forrest fires away, rebounded inside by Tassi.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be much longer before we see Shelly Dearden empty the bench and get some of these reserves some valuable playoff minutes, but starters got to get the job done first, can't let up.
Nice fight. Tassi inside to DeGuizo.
One thing to note, too, is that, again, it's a thin bench for the Colonials. Fatigue for them could start to set in, and it looks like a comeback effort to start here in the fourth quarter, but Ewing is more than content just taking time off the clock and wearing these guys out even more than they already have.
Inside to Sinius, little step through, but can't get the shot to fall, and then a steal for the Blue Devils. Ball batted around, eventually goes out of bounds. And it's going to be Ewing to inbound with 5.5 to go. Yeah, the Colonials at most have gone 7 deep, I think, and that's typical of this Freehold Borough team. Inside there to Sinius. Sinius rolling to the bucket, can't finish. Griffin with the hook.
Just tremendous touch all night inside. A real good understanding of what moves he has time to get off and which ones he doesn't so far. And sky's the limit for a kid like this, getting this type of experience.
There's a steal for Griffin, up the floor to Forrest. Give him an assist on that one.
You're seeing now Shelly Dearden going to start getting some valuable minutes for some of her reserve pieces here. Lead continues to grow. Back up to 31 now. I mean, you can kind of just feel that this one's in the bag for Ewing. Just have to continue doing what you've been doing to this point, run effective sets, and play great defense. I mean, as much as we talked about the offense, the offensive shooting numbers, it's been the defensive effort that's been a direct result of their offensive efficiency.
Bisea from downtown, quickly off the miss, up the floor, Forrest to Rankin, and he lays it in. Kenny Rankin now with 23 by my unofficial count. He and Forrest leading scorers today for this Blue Devil team midway through the fourth quarter. Tassi will step in. The runner too hard off the window. And Darnell Forrest looks up at the clock, just gets a sense of how much time is left. Nice inside look, Rankin to Griffin. He couldn't finish. Joel Sinius is inside and one. Contact from Hun. He's fouled by Hun. And still is able to score, and will step to the line, and now it seems like both teams are emptying the bench.
Simius, another one that has slowly but surely etched his name into the ring of consideration for Italian People's Bakery Player of the Game honors. I mean, he's got to be in the double digits now, Chris. What do you have his stat line at so far?
Let's see here.
I mean, he's definitely got 8 rebounds at least tonight. He's done a great job on the boards.
Yeah, I don't have him scoring a ton of points. I only have him for 4.
Okay. Make it 5 now on the N1. I feel like it's been between him and Cam James that have done a really nice job tonight, just inside. And, of course, you know, Grady Griffin, too. I mean, he stepped up. Like they called on one person to fill that void for Nair Preston in the starting lineup in terms of who's going to be that 5th guy. And it was in Shelley Dearden's book, Grady Griffin. And what did Griffin do? Took full advantage of it and proved that, yeah, I'm somebody you have to consider starting down the line.
Adams with a 3. And that's a response to Bisea's 3 at the other end for the Colonials. 86-50 our score. And there's a 3-pointer from Hayden Reed. So I hope you took the over for today's game.
Hammered it.
86-53. That's a pretty big number for a high school basketball game.
Really is. And I mean, you look at how Ewing got it done today. Talked about high percentage looks, talked about defense to offense, but it's just persistence. And good teams know how they're able to wear teams down before the ball's even thrown in the air. And Ewing, it was clear they had an agenda. They stuck to the game plan. They never had a chance for it to really waver in this one because of how well their execution was. Started on the defensive side. Sometimes it's your defense that fuels your offense, and with a Ewing team like this, that is exactly the case. When they defend, they play good offense too.
Yeah, and they were out to an early lead, never looked back. That time inside. Unable to get 2 more, but a steal at the other end. Doggett to Adams. And Nasir Adams now with 5 points. As we creep under the 2-minute mark. This one our second of 2 games here from Ewing. Both the Ewing boys and girls teams earning the first seed in Central Jersey Group 3 action. That's something to be proud of. And then they took care of business today as well, both teams. The girls winning 66-34. And we're just awaiting the final score in this one, but the result academic at this point is the Blue Devils have played, you know, up to their standard.
Yeah, dominant basketball, start to finish. I believe this was a wire-to-wire victory for them. I mean, they really, again, we talked about it beforehand. How would they respond from such a gut-wrenching loss in a tournament that means so much locally? Oh, they'll just come out and ball out in a tournament that means a little bit more to them personally, and that is your group, representing your group, and not many teams get to say, again, that both their boys and girls programs have the playoff run through them. It's intimidating, and it's not going to get any easier for these teams to come in here and beat a Ewing Blue Devil team playing the way that they have.
We get down to just over a minute to go. Cam Crooms that time with the 3 attempt. Now with dribble, Najee Manning. Manning driving. And one of the fun things to see in the late moments of one of these lopsided games is how excited the teammates get for some of the guys who don't get a lot of time on the floor, for them to score. I mean, they were all hoping that Manning was going to be able to get a bucket right there. Give him another chance, but it's an offensive foul. And that's a good call right there. Cam Crooms was set up right there.
He was set, but again, that's another one of those calls where it's awfully close to where that imaginary semicircle would be. And again, I know that doesn't apply at the high school level, but there are officials that do keep that in mind when making that call. Is he too far under the basket when giving up the body? That time didn't really seem it was as close as the one before. But again, you know, that's the type of stuff you teach your kids. It's sacrifice the body, get in front of an offensive guy driving, and get the ball back for your team any way possible. It's good coaching. It really is.
There's a 3 from Kevin Gartz to make it an 88-56 game. And it looks like that's going to be our final score as the final seconds come off the clock. And the Ewing Blue Devils advance to the second round of the NJSIAA Central Jersey Group 3 bracket, beating Freehold Borough 88-56. And our player of the game, I'm giving it to Grady Griffin. And again, our leading scorers were Darnell Forrest and Kenny Rankin. But I think those guys have gotten some Italian People's Bakery gift certificates before, and a special credit to Griffin in that he's not typically part of the starting 5. He had to step up into this role today, and he did a great job. So we're going to step aside and return with our Italian People's Bakery player of the game in just a moment.
Hi, Merrill Reese for Capital Health, reminding you that the former St. Francis Medical Center is now Capital Health East, and they still offer a 24/7 emergency department as well as outpatient medical clinic services. To enter the emergency department and outpatient clinic, please use the Burt Avenue entrance. Capital Health, proud to be a partner for better health in our state's capital, Trenton, New Jersey. Your vehicle is in good hands at Haldeman Collision, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. They do it all at Haldeman Collision. Minor dents and dings, bumpers, windshields, major body, and frame damage. Free estimates, 24-hour towing, most insurance accepted, and loaners available. Haldeman Collision works with all makes and models. They'll go out of their way to getting your car back in brand new condition. Haldeman Collision, conveniently located 1490 WBCB, Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
And with our Italian People's Bakery player of the game, Mike Warren has Grady Griffin.
All right, Grady. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Grady Griffin, our player of the game. Man, you were asked to start in this one, fill in a void for Nair Preston, down with an injury. What did Coach Dearden say to you, and what did she expect from you coming into this game today?
She just told me to step up and play my game. She said score 2 points more than usual and just come out here and do whatever I had to do, be aggressive and just take shots when I needed to take shots.
Well, you definitely were aggressive in this one, Grady. Offensive rebounding left and right, second chance opportunities. You really did it all. You even were running the floor a little bit there in the second half. How did you feel yourself sort of coming into this game, and how did you feel physically coming into this one, and what you were able to do out there tonight? It was really remarkable, hence why you're our Italian People's Bakery player of the game. So just tell us, I mean, how did you feel coming into this one, and how does it feel knowing that you just stepped up into a big-time role and earned your team another home playoff game coming up this week?
It felt good. I know that it's the States, and I know it's a big role that I was supposed to step into, and I just came here and did what I had to do, really.
Well, 15 points here tonight, a number of rebounds as well. You guys advanced to the next round. What's the mindset of this team heading forward?
Win. That's it. win, and we got to put something on the wall.
There you go. Love it. Grady, you're our player of the game. Thank you so much for taking the time. Visit the Italian People's Bakery at 63 Butler Street in Chambersburg. Get yourself a free sandwich, and best of luck the rest of the way, man. Way to go. That's Grady Griffin, our Italian People's Bakery player of the game. We'll send it back to you, Chris.
All right, thank you, Mike. And Griffin, 15 points, but I got to imagine, we don't look at rebound numbers, but he had to have a double-double.
Yeah, no, it felt like a double-double, and if it wasn't, then it was a 15-9 effort. And he really, he stepped up big. They talk about next man up mentality in football, but that's what it was here today for the Blue Devils, and Grady Griffin did a tremendous job. We can't go without talking about our guy Darnell Forrest and Kenny Rankin, though. Those two guys stepped up tremendously as well, but it just means a little bit more when you get it from your guy off the bench, like a Grady Griffin, who's a typical role player, a reserve guy for this team. He came out, he started, and he really turned it up to another notch and gave those other guys confidence that, okay, we may not have Nair today, but we do have Grady Griffin, and he's here to go to war for us, so let's go to war for him. And you saw that from Ewing from start to finish, dominance from the tip to the time the clock's hit zeros in the fourth quarter. And, man, sky's the limit for a Ewing team like this. Both the Ewing boys and girls victorious today. And, again, the playoffs run through the Blue Devils. Doesn't get much better to be a Ewing basketball fan at this time.
Yeah, Darnell Forrest wound up with 25 points to lead all scorers, and he really balanced out his scoring both in the first and the second half. Meanwhile, Kenny Rankin did most of his damage in the first half in this afternoon's game, scoring 20 points in the first half, winding up with 23 total, and then 15 for Grady Griffin, who stepped up big time in the game. In the loss for Freehold Borough, they were led by Mike Bisea. Bisea able to connect a few times from beyond the arc and wound up with 15 points in tonight's contest, but in a losing effort. So the Ewing Blue Devils move on. They'll take on either Hopewell Valley or Ocean Township in round 2 of Central Jersey Group 3 play. And thank you to the sponsors helping to make today's game possible. Capital Health System, Haldeman Ford Subaru, here yesterday, here today, and here tomorrow. Thanks to the New Jersey Education Association, the Revere Restaurant, your Mercer County prosecutor, Angelo Onofre, Team Toyota, the Trentonian, the Italian People's Bakery, and the all-new Hyundai of Trenton. We thank them for their support. Thanks to the crew. Gus Barber doing a great job, as always, as our video engineer and helping to break down the game. And thanks so much to Mike Warren behind the camera and always doing a great job with color analysis here on WBCB. We thank those guys so much, and thank you for being with us. Both teams win. It's the boys with an 88-56 victory over Freehold Borough, and the girls basketball team winning theirs 66-34 over Middletown North. So both teams survive and advance. Maybe we'll have another doubleheader on Wednesday, and if so,
to be that way.
Hopefully we'll be with you on WBCB for both games as these teams continue to play high school basketball. And thank you so much for being with us. One final time for the boys game. Our final score here from the home of the Ewing Blue Devils. It was oh my gosh, I can't find my score sheet now. 88-56, our final. And thanks so much for being with us on the WBCB Sports Network.